All right. Oh, yo, what's up, Trixie Slot Doll? What's going on, Constance? Welcome back to the channel. Rocking that crown. Look at that. That looks good. Looks good. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and ready up right here. Ooh. Why? Whoa, whoa! The stars look different now. The stars look cool now. Constance, thank you so much for the stars. Yo, I like these stars. They look a lot better. They're better than just a solid purple star. Like, now they legit have, like, these cool stars in the background. Thank you so much, Constance. Yo, TGS Danny, thank you as well. Danny, how's things been going for you, bro? Right, like the new star update. It's pretty cool. I like it. Well, how do you guys like it? My mouse is frozen, guys. Make sure you guys are following TGS Danny and Constance, guys. They've been hanging out with me a lot here on our channel. All right, let me get out of all this. Oh, you're good. Let's see what we got here, guys. See what we got here. Yo, did anybody? What's going on? Funky Town, Jaden. Hey, how is everyone? TGS Danny coming in with the share. High 5 times. Thank you for the likes. Everything's fine with me. What about you? Pretty good, pretty good. Guys, I want to do maybe a couple coin drops today. At least 4. No more than that. I don't want to go overboard. Just a few to help some of you guys level up, get some XP. So as long as you're throwing down them stars and you're getting some of them coins for the coin drop, guys, you guys should be getting a decent amount of chunk of XP here today, guys. Oh, okay. You like YouTube better, Sloth? I've been hanging out too. Ooh. Why is my name black and not orange? That is interesting. I have no idea. It looks orange to me. But like I said, I'm on an external client. I'm not on the actual thing. Right? Friday the 13th, guys. Friday the 13th. One thing that I do need to get set up here is, oh. Right, right. Alright guys, we are started. We are Jason. Let's hurry up and get these guys.
Jason.
Let's get them!
Find them.
Got 2 of these guys. 2 of these. We got them. Look at that. Somebody's right in this house, guys. Alright, we got... Look, they just locked themselves in that bathroom. Okay, locking themselves in that bathroom. Alright. All the doors wide open, guys. Uh-oh. 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 Ho-ho! Spraying them up, guys. Spraying them up. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Whoa, he's lagging hard, though.
Oh, God.
We'll go ahead and just take him out. Oh, you clashed. I'm sorry about that, Danny.
That's my Jason. That's my special, special boy.
Holy shit. It started.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Please. No.
What's she doing? What's she doing? Get out that car. Get out that car. Uh-oh. Welcome everyone who's just coming. Thank you, Annie. Hey, Action Gaming, thank you for the follow, man. So how's it been, Trixz? Pretty good, Bucky. Pretty good, man. Haha, how about you, right? Jaden? Alright, guys. We got 2 of the victims down, guys. We still got quite a bit here to go.
Boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Alright, we're going right over here, guys. Get in the house. Get in the house. Get in the house. Guys, give me a second. We'll get some coin drop goals for you guys. There's somebody over there, too. Uh-oh. There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. Who we're gonna go after here, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Why would you?
They want to hurt
No!
you, Jason.
No!
Don't let them.
They're trying to get back to the car, but that's okay. I planted traps over there, though.
Holy shit, is that a dead body?
Oh, where you going, buddy? Here we go. I got her trapped in the thing, too, guys. Ooh, matchmaking. Oh, man.
Yes. Yes. Kill for mother.
Alright, guys. That leaves 2 alive. Who's in here? We're going in, guys. We're going in. I smell something. You think that flashlight's gonna save you?
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Uh-oh. They got a lot of stuff here, guys. Yo, Anybody, thank you so much for the stars there. Right, absolutely. It's online, right? It is online, guys. It is online. How's everybody's day today, guys? Give me a second. After this match, I'll go ahead and set up the coin chest for you guys. I do want to get a few coin chests rolling in, guys. How many followers do I have? Can somebody tell me in chat? It'd be really nice. Alright, whoa. Time out, time out. Let's get some more knives so we can weaken our opponents here, guys. Need some more knives. Hold on. 24786. Thank you, Danny and Annie. You guys' name actually matches. Danny and Annie. Oh, Kid Cola! What's up, man? What is going on? Yo, I'm gonna get this guy right here. Where is he? Where is he? Right over there. I don't really want to teleport. 24786. Alright, we're gonna put the goal at 24,800, guys. Let's get 24,800 followers, and then we'll go ahead and alright, so they're right up there. We're gonna go this way. No!
Up,
I want to put him on the log, guys.
Find them.
I want to get him on the
Kill
log.
them.
Oh, you want to heal yourself, eh? That's fine. Go ahead, heal it. Heal it. Okay, that was a swing and a miss. That's good. We weaken him a bit. 24799. Really? Alright, I'm gonna check. Let me turn my other phone on really quick. Alright. Let that boot up real fast. Alright, there's two of them. There's two of them. Grabbing these things, guys. Grabbing them up. Grabbing them up. Grabbing all of our spikes. 24805. Really? Oh. Can I pick them up after I throw them? What you in there looking for, buddy? Really? Wow. Hold on. Are you serious? No way. Oh!
Jason. Don't let them.
The fireworks are OP, guys. Really? Danny Andy? Wow. Hold on, guys. Oh, hold up. That's it. No, not happening. Nobody's by the car. I know that's what they want to do. Alright. Alright, they're gonna be right inside this house right here, guys. Let's scare them off a bit. Yeah, alright, so here's what's going on, guys. If you guys are coming in and you're following, I think there's something wrong with the follows today. They're like glitched out. Alright. After this match, guys, like I said, I'll No!
From me, Jason. Don't let them.
No!
Jason, hurry, go! Something I can hang this guy. Come here. Here we go. Alright, one down. Another one down, guys.
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to die. Make them suffer like we did.
I think I was in chat before you didn't see my message. Really, Kid Cola? You been here? I got the part where you put followers. Alright, that's it. Rage is active, guys. Let's tear some stuff down. Right, no problem, guys. If you guys want to join, just let me know in chat. Where are you?
They want to take you from me, Jason. Don't let them.
That rage! Yo, Lurker, what's up? Thank you for the share, man. I appreciate it, guys. I really do appreciate it, guys. Alright, where is this last winner at, guys? They are somewhere. They're not making any sound effects on the screen. We're gonna have to locate this victim to the best of our possibilities. Hold on, guys. Let's...
Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
You don't want her escaping yet, guys. Your credit card's still blocked? That's not great, Grow Up. Did you contact them? What if you need it for, like, Alright, she's somewhere, guys. Let's check the boat, though. I'm kind of curious. Kind of curious. What if she wants to escape by the boat? We're gonna have to find her, guys. Aha, we found her. Alright, let's go. We found out which house she's in. I think it's this one? Going to be this one. We got some bear traps too. Yo, what's going on, Dab Gob? Yo, yo, yo! I just hit level 101. Wait, what? 101 on this game? They're trying to get the boat products. That's what they're doing. Uh-oh.
Get up,
Oh!
Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got some knives, too. No! He shot me, no!
No matter what they do to you.
Oh, Daddy, this is a great game, man. I needed that 22 euros, and I know I still need to get it. It's okay. I still got the goal going. I still got the goal going. Where's she going? Oh, we can't break that, I guess.
Oh God, no!
Uh-oh. Oh man, that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. Alright, let me go in my chat, guys. Let's look at our goals here. Hold up, I got you guys.
But it's time to come home now.
Oh, that was good. You were hilarious, though. I think you were the most spontaneous victim. I thought it said 2 minutes remaining. There's no way 2 minutes went up that quick. Holy crap, guys. 24,925? Alright, let's do a coin. Alright, let's do a coin drop. Who's out here right now, guys? And if you guys want a coin drop, let me know. Have you ever been jet skiing? Yo, slot though? That'd be amazing. I actually never done it. Never have. But I would love to. Oh, I knew you were going for the boat because I knew you knew the car was already on point. You're like, ah, that's a no-go. And I knew you were near that boat deck. That's how I was like, that's the only other option she has. Wow, the host left. Well, at least they stayed until the end. I'll give them credit for that. Right. And they're like, they're at the car! As soon as you said that, two of them. Oh, you're playing WoWs. Nice. Yo, I really want to get back into World of Warcraft, though. There's another streamer I know isn't playing it. We were just going to go do it together. Trixz, I want to play. Ooh. Wait, are you even... Are you... Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Anybody, are you... Where you... What? Wait, there's a baby noise? Huh. I'm running away from Jason. Well, it's probably going to be next. Probably going to be next. I usually don't get Jason. I'm going to tell you that right now. I usually don't. Ooh, werewolves in the house. I play World of Warships. Okay. Okay, it's pretty fun. Those games are pretty fun. 20 minutes? Okay. Now, you know nicotine is very bad for you. You shouldn't really do that. All right. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to get this. You know what? I'm gonna put this down here with the. All right. So I said coin drop at what? Holy crap. Yeah, you're good. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay. Who wants a coin job, guys? Who wants a coin job? All right, let's take a look here. All right, so right now I got 24969. Okay. Yo, they're going up like crazy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the Alright, we got a pretty good sized team now. We got a pretty good crew now. We just 2 more players, but usually by the time we get loaded in, they get to joining. I'm gonna re-download. Wow, I'm playing League. Yeah, I saw the kick. I saw you on Discord playing League of Legends, man. You know, one of these days I'm gonna stop being stubborn and just play it. All right, Perry, what's going on, bro? Perry. Boo, 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 boo. All right, guys, so here's the deal. The game's in the background right now. We're still loading up. We're still waiting for the game to actually start up. But in the meantime, I do have a couple coin drops coming in for you guys. So all I'm really asking for you guys is let's hit that 25,000 fans, guys. That's going to put me pretty far here on those following counts. And it's been hard. It's been a milestone. It's been you know, I see people on this app get follows like tremendously easily. That's great. But it's really hard for us here, especially in the gaming broadcasting section. It's really hard to gain followers and viewership. But I don't want to stop it there, guys. I'm a gamer. This is what I do. This is my hobby and passion, so I'm going to stick to it. So I'm going to make sure that I'm helping other gamers as well to make sure that they succeed. What I really want and what I really want to strive for here in this community, guys, I really want I want to see a lot of TGS broadcasters in the gaming section, guys. I want to run this section and let people know, wow, TGS, you know, not just Trixz, but TGS, guys. I want people to see that we are going to be on a large scale. In the meantime, we're still loading in right now, so let's hit 100,000 stars, guys. We'll do a coin drop, or we hit 100 shares, or if I hit 25,000. But like I promised, we're gonna do a coin drop right now, guys, to show my gratitude and thanks to you guys. So let's go ahead and get that rolling in here right now, guys. Make sure you guys are snatching that up. Let's grab and give. You know the deal, guys. You know the rules. Let's do it. Let's do it. You know, thank you so much, Trixie. All right, whoa, 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 whoa. Thank you, Jalen Craig. I appreciate it. Oh boy, did anybody thank you. Jason again? Holy crap. Whoa, this is weird.
Here, Jason. Find them.
Sorry, guys. Guys, thank you so much for giving the love back, guys. Admins, if you see any coin thoughts on that snatch list, shout them out in chat. Put them on blast, guys. Let's do this. Alright, first of all, we need to go where the noise is. And more than likely, someone's going to be near where one of these cars are. So let's go by the phone, okay? We're going to go by the phone. Yes, phones are good. Alright, more than likely, there's someone like right around here. We'll go ahead and break some windows. Get it ready. This guy swings around with the fire axe. Alright, TGS Danny rocking that top 3 fan of the day. Congratulations, full-time streamers. Yo, what scene am I on here? Full-time streamers? Yo, Kid Cola, you crazy, bro. One day, Kid Cola, one day. You know, here's the thing, guys. If streaming paid my bills, I would do full-time. Simply, I would. I will quit everything that I'm doing and continue to do full-time. However, that's just not the case currently at this moment. No one around me? No one around this area, guys. So there's actually no one in this area at all. More than likely someone right around here. But let's go and hit this power outage really quick. Alright. Good. Power's going out, which is great. Means somebody's been in here. No one's probably in here right now, though. So let's go ahead and head out. They came in and got the stuff and dipped. Right. Yo, Sarukrios, thank you so much for the follow there, yo, guys. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, guys. See, the follows are rolling in again, guys. I appreciate everybody doing that coin drop. We have another one coming up here soon. I said soon, guys. Let's hit 25,000 fans, guys. We are very, very close. It does if you post it on YouTube and Twitch, right? Danny, I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. I do everything simultaneously. However, my good times and my flawless times here on Twitch, I would have to say.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
Oh, man. Let's see who's over here, guys. Nobody over here? Well, we're gonna hit another power thing. Yo, gentlemen, what's up? Big mess. What's going on, man? Followers rolling there, right? What? Did we hit 25,000? Did one of my admins just tell me we hit 25,000 fans? Is that what I'm hearing right now? I don't believe it, guys. Tell me in chat, guys. Is my admin telling the truth? Is the admin telling thy truth? You gotta help me out here, guys. You gotta make me believe it. You gotta make me believe it here. 25,000. Unbelievable. Oh, what are you doing, Jason? What are you doing, man? All right. Well, we're gonna. Oh no, you don't. Got her again. Got her again. She's rolling in with that gas can. Let me tell you something. That gas can's not gonna work around me, buddy. Not gonna work around me. Alright, we got several traps there, guys. Several traps there. Yo. Oh, no, you didn't. They try to call the cops. I'm hungry too, right? All right, guys, give me a second. We'll do this. All right, guys. All right, let me check it up real quick, okay? We're gonna take a look. We're gonna double check. Let's take a double look at this. Oh, what am I doing? Yo, there's another car over here, guys. We gotta block this car off. More than likely, they're gonna try to take this one. All right, so yes, we did hit the goal, guys. All right, so I gotta keep my promise and my word on it. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna keep it up then.
Is this the police? We're the kids in Camp Crystal Lake. We need you. We need you now. He's killing us. He's killing everyone.
Copy on the road therapy. Air Force 97.
She's gonna go out the window. She just called 911. She called the popo. No! Okay, this seems a little good. All right, guys, hold on. Really?
God, no!
Oh, she had a pocket knife.
Don't let
Not yet, Danny, not yet. I got applications open, guys, but I had to explain how to apply. A lot of people get confused on it, but I'll go more into details soon, guys. All right, we're not doing too good here, guys. These guys are actually holding down pretty good. This girl's really dodging me. And really making me mad. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, let's get back into the team here, guys. All right, first of all, let's get these guys, okay? We're gonna get these guys. No more playing around here, guys. No more playing around. Let's get this coin drop rolling in because you guys succeeded that part, okay? You guys did great. You guys did phenomenal. Keep it up, team. Keep it up, guys. You know, make sure we're looking at that list there, guys. A lot of the TGS grabbing it up. Boy Gamer Dude, congratulations on the 27 coins. Leon the Lion, or Leo the Lion, congratulations on a 14. The rest of you, and you got a small amount of coins. You don't have to worry about it. If you got less than 10 coins, guys, you don't have to get back. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But if you do, that's great. We're going to go ahead and try to do a few more here for you guys. Thank you so much. All right, we need to teleport again. Where are these guys? Can't find them. Yo, Andy, yo, is that a new gift? Hold on, we got ice cream cones now? No way. Don't make me do a Patrick from, where's that ice cream cone at? We do have ice cream cones. Wow, the drumsticks. What? Did anybody thank you for the ice cream? Okay, no problem, Great Grey Wolf. No problem. I know, you guys are making me so jealous. I want pub so bad. It's okay, though. I'm patient. What I'm gonna do is, if we do hit that goal, I'll just go buy me a cheap mouse for now. Like a $20, $30 mouse. And then I'll get a gaming mouse, maybe. I don't know. I'm just tired of buying mouses. I keep buying mouses, guys. I'm tired of it. I spend $60, $80 at a time, and it's like, do I just want to go out and just go get an all-out crazy expensive mouse, or oh snap, hold on. Got a po-po. No!
Do you know what you're
Really?
No matter what they do to you, you cannot die.
Oh, I screwed up this game,
You can
guys.
never die. Get
Oh,
up,
wow.
Jason. Find them. Kill them.
No! Right. No!
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't
I can't do
let
anything.
them.
No!
Jason, don't let them. Get up, Jason. Find them. Kill them.
Right. No, a lot of you guys have been helping me out a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can cash out on this app right now, but I'm not going to. Because I've been gifting people back, but I've been saving like those little gifts at a time. I don't know, man. I was gonna use that to get a mouse, but I'm just gonna... Oh, really? Yeah, see? Alright, that's it. They all escape. I screwed up.
No matter what they do to you,
Really, didn't anybody?
you cannot die.
Alright, well, just hit me up in the DMs. I got you. My number one's about to buy me a mouse, guys. Unbelievable. Like, I feel bad. Like, you buy me so much. You do so much. I'm not gonna lie. My bad.
Come to mommy.
Yo, Constance, thank you for the ones. Yeah, well, pizza came to the door. I'm sorry. And then as soon as I come back, you guys are all at the 5-0 Popo. I'm like, no, nothing I can do. Oh. You guys were already fully equipped. Boy Gamer Dude, you get diamonds just by, people gift you diamonds pretty much. That's pretty much the way to do it. They can gift you in your DMs, or they can send you gifts while you're live. Right, alright, we're gonna go ahead and get through Nanobody up in here, guys. By the way, Trixz, have you tried the problem with your mouse? I tried Grey Werewolf, it still doesn't work. I cleaned my mouse pad, like literally, it's spotless. It's the mouse. It's gotta be the mouse. I'm pretty determined it's the mouse. Hold on, I'm gonna try to invite one person. We might get another one in here. Oh, thank you for the gift. Oh. Alright, guys. Alright, let's take a look at our followers here really quick, guys. Let's take a look at our followers here, guys. Ooh, you guys are following me too much. What's wrong with you guys? Thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, so let's hit this coin drop goal. So now with my followers, I don't know where we are exactly. Let me leave. Hold on, we got some good questions in chat. I got you, boy gamer dude. Give me 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second. Alright, so right now I'm at let's get 25,200 right now, guys, and I got you on another coin drop. How's that? Let's get 25,200. Right now we're at 25,169, guys. Wait, who stopped it at 69? Really? All right. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm gonna be playing that pub soon. Trust me, I'm gonna be playing that pub soon. All right. I don't think they're able to join. Right. Well, the host of this game right now, if you want to back out and just re-invite us all, we'll join your game or something. Because I do have I have a top gifter that wants to join me, and I feel really bad if I don't get them in here. Like, I feel like you know, oh look, we got Team Diesel 216. Uh-oh. Those 3 numbers. Right. All right. Yeah, I would feel really bad. I gotta get my top gifter in here. Like, if I don't invite her, I feel like a criminal. I'm sorry. Hopefully Team Diesel, if he heard me, I told him just to host it, he can invite us. I mean, I'm down for that. I'm cool with that. Like, anybody else want to join? Right, hey, hungry. Be nice to Sloth, man. Be nice to Sloth. Be nice to Sloth, man. Right. Alright, so we're just waiting for Dunanabody to join. She's the one that likes to hide in closets and beds a lot. Oh, man. I might have to disband the party. Hold on. Get out of here, Danny. For real, guys? For real? What are you guys doing? What is going on? What? Thank you for the stars, guys. All right, so anyway, boy gamer dude, your question was how to be successful on Live Me, right? Rule number 1, stay consistent. Don't go stop streaming for like an entire month and expect all your fans to be there waiting for you. When you stream, guys, when you're a streamer, you're an entertainer. You have to, interaction and your quality is a really big key element. Make sure you're consistent, active. Make sure you put great quality in your streams. Like myself, I try to keep my channel like family friendly. Like I don't want like, you know, everybody just talking about really inappropriate things, because that's not what we're here for. I mean, we are gamers and we do say some crazy stuff. However, we just got to make sure that we're very mature about it as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and invite 2 users here. Let me see. Hold on. Let's go ahead and get them in here really quick. Man, time flies by. Okay, it's connecting. Sweet. All right, guys. Well, my admins are telling me we reached gold again. Waiting for my duo to join me. There you go. By the way, Trixz, you tried What's the Problem with Your Mouse? Yeah, I did. I tried. No luck. There we go. We got you guys both in here now. Ooh. Alright, guys. So we're looking good on the stars too, man. You guys are doing good on the stars as well. Alright, let's see. How many followers do we got here, guys? All right, so followers right now, we are now at, holy crap. You guys are following too fast. I'm gonna have to bump it up a little bit. You guys are gonna make me broke. I say 0. Hey, no, don't be saying that, Danny. If that's a troll, you're getting me right now. You got me flipping out. What? Okay, I see 25,235. 25,235. 25,235. 5. No, you know what we're gonna do? Hold on, because now we're just getting up there too fast. Hold on, I gotta. All right. Thank you for the ice cream. Wow, where are these gifts coming from, guys? Mr. Swifty, welcome. All right, so let me see. How many coin drops do I have left on me? Whew, I might have enough for 2 more, guys. 2 more. I wish we can convert while we're live. That would just be, well, maybe I can. Can I? Let me check. All right. Do you guys want to invite like recent players or something, or what? What do you guys want to do? It's up to you. All right. All right, guys. Okay. Now, let me see it. Yo, salute. Thank you for the share, guys. Thank you for the share, guys. All right, so far we're looking good. We're looking good. Let me go and invite a couple people here really quick. We're gonna do recent players. All right, so give me a second, guys. I got you. This should be good. Let's see what's going on right now. Alright, guys, so are we ready for this? How many followers do I got? Because they're just flying in right now. Hold on. Oh, no. Yo, we're number 2 in the coin drop screen, though, so we're going to be getting a lot of people up in here. That's what's going on. I see what's going on right now. Okay, so... Alright, so let's go ahead and drop one right now. Admins, let me know if the chat wants it. Chat, let my admins know you want this coin drop. Now, I know I don't say ask for coin drops. It's against our rules and policy, guys, but you can ask for it right now. Who wants a coin drop? Raise your hands, guys. Give me the raise hand emoji in chat. Give me that little avatar raising the hand in chat, guys. Alright, I invited these guys, but I don't think nothing's happening. We might have to just go with just us 3 then. I feel really bad because that was a pretty good game. I feel really bad that I went AFK too. Alright, admins, keep me in check. Let me know. All right, guys, got my pizza. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Does anybody else put ranch on their pizza, or is it just me? Okay, maybe just me. All right, anyway. See what we're looking like here, guys. Just gonna start up that game. We do got some hands in chat for a coin drop. Let's see. Constance wants a coin drop. Who else wants a coin drop? Salute wants a coin drop. Salute said I'm dancing in the chat. All right. Who else wants that coin drop? Let's see. Did anybody throwing them stars? Salute is really throwing them hands in Constance, guys. I only see 2 people. What is going on here? Oh, Danny's raising the hands. 3 people. Right, guys. And Danny, I haven't caught you live yet, and I am following you. So you're good, buddy. Don't worry about it. You're part of the TGS. We're gonna make sure we support you, bro. I gotta get you into our fam. Are you part of our fam or no? And if you're not part of our fam, Danny, just apply for it, and just make sure you just put a reason, like, hey, you know, just want to join the fam. Just tell us why, and we'll get you in there for you, man. As long as you join our fam, people do follow each other in there, which is pretty good. So let's go ahead and drop one for right now, guys. Let's go ahead and get it in, because it's been a while. Ooh, get it down, guys. Get it down. Good. I can convert my coins, guys, while I'm offline. Ooh, ooh. Good, good. Keep it rolling, guys. The more we give gifts back and the more we get gifts from other users, we will continue to do the coin drops, guys. Definitely, for sure. Salute, Rick Shing. Thank you so much, guys. That's a pretty decent sized lobby. We're good. All right. Danny, thank you. Rick, absolutely, guys. Oh, yeah. Well, so far, it looks like matchmaking has been pretty good. Anybody who's been experiencing issues? Right, I think it was really bad with this when you solo queue, I think. Oh, JD Loca coming in. JD Loca, how you been? We haven't seen you in a while. We missed you. What is this coin drop for? No audio? Wait, what? I can't really see, sadly. No, it's okay. No, the coin drop is for it's for Live Me. It's for Live Me. It's for the Live Me users. It's kind of like I drop coins for them and they can send gifts to me. So it puts them on my diamond board. So, and then they also get to level up from it too as well. Something that I wish Twitch would actually do is actually level account like levels. All right. You know, but for the most part, those who are at 2366.2, guys, let's hit that 2400, guys. That's another coin drop. 2400 fans, guys. Come on, let's do it. 25,400. 24,400, and we can get another coin drop. What are you guys waiting for? Let's do this. Keep it up, guys. Make sure you share this stream with your friends, your family, on your social media. I know a lot of people hit share and they hit back. They don't really share it for real, guys, but if you can share it for real, it would be great. You know, which would be nice. And if you are coming in, guys, and you haven't shared the broadcast, help us out on that share count, guys. Really help us out. Those shares can help us get into another coin drop as well. But let's definitely do some big shout outs right now, guys. Our most recent subscriber over there, we have wait, how come that's not updating right? Something's not right here, guys. I gotta work on that. Anyway, or maybe it was a renewal. That's what it is. Hold on. So when I come over here and it shows our recent subscribers, let me take a look really quick here at that top banner right there, guys. Latest followers. All right, so far so good. Thank you, Jada Loca, for all those stars and stuff. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Wait, what happened to anybody? Uh-oh, who's getting blocked? Constance, thank you. Alright. Whoa! Whoa! So what are we doing, guys? Do we want another coin drop? No? Yay, maybe? Possibly? Possibly? Yay. I believe it is $40. How much is this game and where can I get it? It's, I got you, Slot. Hold on. Digital only. $40 will be $60 soon though. So yeah, I bought it for $50. Time to play Rocket League. Ooh, Kid Cola, get it, get it. All right, guys, let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep it up. Let me stuff my face real quick. Keep it up, guys. Oh my God, pizza and ranch is so. Wait, Danny, wait, what? Danny, I'm confused right now. What happened? Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to give them back. Right. Guys, we just did one. We're doing another one. Uh-oh. What's up? Oh, we gotta get ketchup and mustard. That's what we gotta do. And, sweet relish. No. But make sure it's the cheese-filled hot dogs. Alright, guys. I hop on YouTube Gaming just like the stream and then get back on Twitch. Aww. Oh, Tino Dino. I know who you are now. Holy crap. I had to think about it for a second. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot, man. I really appreciate it, guys. Right? Alright, guys. We got another coin drop rolling in, guys. Keep it up. Kid Cola, thank you for following me on player.me, though. Okay. How'd you find me over there? How'd you find me over there? Alright. Good luck, everybody. You dropped the bomb, bomb, bomb. Alright, guys, remember, we're trying to hit those coin drops up there, guys. You can't see that. I know it's kind of tiny. We'll put it a little closer. Those are our goals up there, guys. 1, get me 25,400 fans. 2, get me 100 shares. 3, give me 100,000 stars, guys. Either way, we got a coin drop for you guys. No diggity, no doubt. Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh. Welcome back. I mean, Kid Cola. It's Lynn's. I love the game. The game is amazing. It has its matchmaking problems, but I like it. I played Dead by Daylight. Get out of here, Danny. I played Dead by Daylight. It's a great game. However, it has, I don't know, like, probably because I played that first and then Friday the 13th. It could be vice versa for everybody else. I like Dead by Daylight. I think it's a great game. I like some of the extra additional things that they allow you to do. Rather, this game, you don't really get, like, I mean, you do kind of level up and you get new outfits and stuff and perks, but I like the perk tree on Dead by Daylight a little better. I think it's a lot more better. 25,406. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me, though. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. Alright, guys. Just make sure we put these coin dots on blast, guys. Let me know who we need to block.
Get away?
But hopefully we don't have to block anybody. I don't want to block anybody, guys. Grab and give, guys. Let's go. Grab and give. You guys are doing great. Grab and give. The coins level up. Enjoy them. Thank you. Get on my diamond board as well, guys. It's going to help you out a lot. I really appreciate it. Alright, so we're playing as this chick right here, guys. Oh, Jason is right by us. This ain't good. I'm probably going to die already. Well, we need to get into the house. And we need to close this door. Because Jason is close to us, guys. Wait, why is it just facing this way? That's new. And there's nothing. But you know what? I'm going to grab the wrench, guys. You know why? Because it's some kind of weapon. It's better than nothing. It's not the best weapon, but it's better than nothing. It looks like they rearranged some of the things. I don't remember it being like this. Okay, this could be bad. The radio! That's gonna come in handy. I think I'm level 38 on Friday. Nice. I'm only like 20 right now. I'm trying to get up there. Finally, you're not Jason. I know, right, Danny? Saw some of those playing this before, this same level. Really? The way they play crawl is funny. I know, right? The game seems like fun. It is. Thank you, Eyes. Christopher, welcome to the channel, buddy. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. See, guys, I really appreciate those gift backs, guys. We got another coin drop soon. Trust me. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. We are getting there. And it's thanks to you guys. You guys have been helping me out a lot. Alright. There's got to be a better weapon around here. There's absolutely nothing else better. Alright, we're going to go ahead and close that up, guys. Alright, let's see what else we can find here. Or the nerd girl, right? I like the people who can repair real good. They're good. You know, but we'll definitely see what's up with that. Alright, guys. We're looking around here, guys. See what we find. Alright, we got a pocket knife. That's going to come in handy. Jason grabs us. That gives us a way to flee. However, that could be bad news, too. Somebody died. Right, she fixes up fast. Absolutely. She's great for fixing the cars, putting gas and batteries in, right? Those shorts though. That's what I'm saying, Slot Doll. Let's be honest, guys. We all know why we play as her, right? Look at, we need a fuse box right there. I don't even know what her stats are. But we're about to find out right now. Yeah, well, we gotta be comfortable, you know, when it's the end of the world. Oh, geez, I think Jason's close nearby, guys. Oh, okay, we'll take the machete. Ooh. Battery! If we can get a fuse box too, that'd be great. We need to lock up this door right here, guys. Lock up this door right here. Going out there, that's only a 2-door car. This could be bad news. We have a 4-seat car. Alright. We'll put the battery here at the 2-seater, just in case, guys. So we found both batteries. Your cat, yo, what's up? Oh, Jason, I see what you're doing there, buddy. Gotcha. Oh gosh. Our repair is crap. Look at this. Ooh. Oh man. Oh gosh. Getting close, getting close. Getting close, getting close. Oh, that's bad. That's just all bad, guys. Come on.
I hope I'm doing this right.
All units be advised. Do you copy? Over. We got a battery at the 2-door seater. Oh, no gas. Copy that. Both cars have batteries, just need gas and keys. Alright guys, I got her out though. Right, are you on Xbox? Yes, Lens, I am on the Xbox. I'm so excited. What's going on, Ram? OMG, I wasn't paying attention. Right, that happens. Kick all over there because we don't hear the people in game. I know. Here's why. It's the way it's... It's the way it's set up right now, guys. I'm sorry. It's the way it's set up, guys, and I do apologize. Copy that. Oh, well, happy birthday there, Ram. Congratulations, dude. Thank you for the follow there, Brutus. Guys, a lot of you guys are following up. You're getting us close to our next coin drop, guys. Yo, I didn't even... Hold up. Hold on, guys. That was a poor transmission. Can you repeat that over? Right, everybody. Oops, sorry. Oh, everybody, say happy birthday to Ram, guys. Say happy birthday to Ram. Oh, PS4 is L1, right. Alright, we just saved whoever that was right there, guys, but we gotta be careful there. Look at Jason right here, guys. No! Oh my gosh, I died. No! Alright guys, I'm gonna stuff my faces really quick, guys. Alright, stuffing my face. So anyway, back to what I was saying, guys. Happy birthday to Ram. That's a nice character you got there, Trixz. I know, Kikola. It took me a long time to unlock her, but let me tell you, it was worth it. Ooh, right. Alright guys, no! I died so early on in the game, guys. Congratulations to my death. Oh man, what my death. Well, man. Alright, King of Kings is in the 4-door seater, guys. Looks like they can possibly escape. No! No! Whoa! What just happened? Whoa! Retro Jason OP. Oh! Absolutely right, guys. Yeah, well here's the thing, Andy. The car went flying in the air. What do you mean? We don't hear the people in game. No, I know. I feel bad that it took away the chat, guys. Now, I could do another solution here. Annie, thank you for all those lattes, man. I appreciate it. No bueno, right? Nope. I've never seen that, right? Let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep it up. Chipotle sounds amazing. Chipotle do sound amazing though, guys. Alright, who wants this next coin drop, guys? Where are we at on followers though? Let's take a look really quick, okay? Let's take a look. Alright, we're at 25. Whoa, guys, you guys didn't tell me. Nobody tells me anything. Guys, we just went over our goal here, guys. Congratulations, we went over our goal. Let's get it. Alright, so we went over that. Alright, well. Holy crap. Oh, this chat in game though is hilarious. Alright guys, we're gonna do another coin drop. I want everybody to raise your hands in chat, guys. Raise your hand in chat if you want this coin drop. Preferably I want this emoji, guys. I'm gonna show you guys. What do they serve? Right? There we go. The same emoji that Annie and Constance did, guys. Give me those emojis. Raise your hands, guys. Raise your hand. Let's all raise our hands, guys. Alright. Let's all raise our hands. If you guys are coming in right now, make sure you guys hit that follow, hit that share, because we're about to do this coin drop, guys. Alright. Let me see how many coins we gotten so far. So right now, I could convert again, actually. We can probably do this. Let me convert really quick, guys. Alright, we just did some converting, guys, so we should be good. Right? Alright, so far so good, guys. So let's keep it up. Everybody raise their hands. Reported for what pro YouTuber? I don't understand what you're saying. A level 4 saying I have been reported. Level 4, please tell me what I am reported for because I'm very curious. Talk to me. Don't just copy and paste that and dip. All right, let's take a look here, guys. I want to know what this level 4 has something. I want to know what this level 4 have to say. I'm waiting. Let me know really quick. Mr. Pro YouTuber, don't you dare leave me, my friend. Yo, you know what they say? Keep your friends closer, but your friends or your enemies even closer. Or keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Come on, Pro YouTuber, where you at, buddy? I'm waiting. A level 4 talking to a level 35. Come on. Bring it. Coming here talking all that trash. Can't even back it up. What is wrong with you, man? You thought you were gonna make me mad? You think you're gonna scare me? What? Pro YouTuber, you better change your name right now. He dipped, guys. Oh, he was blocked. Oh, he just been blocked. Okay, I see it. Alright, well, he was blocked. I'm sorry. You took too long, man. Took too long. I love it, guys. See, here's the thing. When you stream, guys, people talk trash. It's common. It's typical. It's gonna happen. People hate. You know, they hate. They can't appreciate, so they hate. Or they're just mad because they can't get what they want and they want to take it on somebody else because it makes them feel better. Alright. That was hilarious, though. Alright, well, I'll block him too because I don't want that annoying user in my channel again anyway. Alright, guys. So everybody raise their hands. We're ready for another coin drop, right? We are ready for another coin drop. He's probably like, okay, this guy gets too many coins. He's doing coin drops. He's playing video games. He's too cool, man. How can he do all this? And he got mad. I reported. You reported. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and report me. I'll just talk to Live Me right now. Like, guys, I'm on good terms with them. They know me and I know them. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to go into details, but I get to talking with them. All right. How do I raise hands? Right. True, Kikola. True, true. All right, guys, let's go ahead and drop it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes. Yes, keep it. Oh, by the way, guys, I need your help. Oh. 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 What happened? Salute, thank you so much for the grab and give. Jaden Loca, thank you so much as
Mommy
well.
has a reward for you.
Right. Dunanimody, thank you. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great. Oh my gosh. Alright, guys, don't be dotting now. You know, we'll put you on blast. Don't be dotting now. We'll put you on blast. Alright, let's see. Christopher came in, he threw the love back. See, guys? You know, he's a high level. He knows the deal. He you know, he ain't about them games. Like he knows what it is. You know. You can't be that cool, Trixz. Bring it down. I know. Right. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. You know, we had Jacob, you know, he won, you know, well, he got 29 coins. Never gift any back, I don't think. Jacob, are you still here, Jacob? Where you at, buddy? Do I see your name in this chat? Let me see. Jacob, I'm looking for you. Jacob. Yeah, Jacob's good, guys. See, he did it too. Everybody's good. See, we're good. We got no thoughts, guys. No thoughts. Oh, I love that a lot of TGS are snatching, guys. If you are not in the fam, guys, join the TGS, guys. We're big gamers. This is what we love to do. Ron, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the channel. It's great to have you here, Ron. Jacob, you're safe. You're safe, man. You're safe. Don't worry. You're safe. Just your name was hiding with some of the other gifters. It was hard to find you, but you're good. All right, join it. Yes, join it. Do it. What are you guys waiting for? Like, I don't really think there's a lot of gaming families on here. I mean, I know we got Mad Hatter, the Gentleman. I don't really think there's a lot of them, guys. Like, we're TGS, and we're trying to get that expansion, guys. Oh, you just out your daughter to sleep. Gotcha. Magic Killer, what's up, dude? All right, so far so good. Actually, I messed up on that coin drop, guys. Wait, where did I put on there? I said 26,000. Why did I do that? Hold on, guys. Let me see how many followers I got really quick, okay? Let's see how many followers we got really quick. My follower count currently is at 25,577. 577. That's why did I put 26,000? Hold on, 25. I think I was meaning to do. Let's hit 700. 25,700, guys. Let's hit 25,700. We got that. We got a coin drop. What is a coin thought? Coin thought, Kid-Cola, is when somebody on Live Me snatches coins but doesn't give the coins back. So that's what they call it. It's called coin thoughts, right? Because it means they come, take your merchandise, and dip. Like, you know, it's kind of like, it's a bit disrespectful, sort of say. Like when I go into a channel and somebody does a coin drop, I give it all back. Because I really try not to snatch. But if I do, I'll just give it back. I really don't like snatching because I like to let other people get a chance to win, guys. You know, I'm not really worrying about hitting level 50s or 60s. Like, I've already hit, you know, a really high level here in this app. And I'm pretty cool. Like, I mean, I hit 35 without even trying. But level 30 was, like, my ending point right there. Christopher, thank you for the stars. 25,580. Guys, we're close. We're close, guys. Don't stop it. Yes, hit the top left corner where the stars are. Absolutely. No. What just happened? No. No. It's that Walmart connection. What happened? Remember those Call of Duty days? Like, you got that Walmart connection. Hey, man. Get that 40. Right. All right. All right, guys. All right. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Anyway, a lot of you guys were explaining to me, like, why can't you guys hear the chat in game? Oh, I didn't know. Donated enough to be that high in the leaderboard. Danny, see? That's all little coin toss, buddy. It gets you up there quick. Here's the thing, guys. It's that Walmart Wi-Fi, right? Oh! One of my viewers just killed it, though. You know how I say it's that Walmart connection? He said it's that Walmart Wi-Fi. That Walmart Wi-Fi. You know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. When you go into, like, McDonald's or, like, or just anything, like, I'm not really, I don't like joining any... I'd rather stay on my 4G mobile network than join somebody's Wi-Fi, because sometimes... Even hospitals too, like, I swear they put you on the slowest connection speeds possible, and even some games that you try to play, it won't even connect. Like, it'll just say network error or something. You're just like, wait, what? McDonald's connection put more oil in the fryer. Oh my gosh. Right, yeah, I can't stand it, guys. I'll be sitting there, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait. I got that Wi-Fi. We got that Wi-Fi. Ooh, I can watch Trixz while he's live. Ooh. But even on their Wi-Fi, you be sitting there, long loading screen, can't send gifts, can't chat because it'll say like your chat bugged or something. You just be like, wait, what? Wait, what? Guys, what are we doing? Are we doing another coin drop? What do you guys want? What do you guys want? It's up to you guys. What we did, like 8 already? What do you guys want to do here? Do we want another coin drop? Let's see. Stars, we're at 93,000, guys. If we hit 100,000, that's a coin drop. Shares, we're a little low there, guys. You know, our view count right now, if each and every single individual in that number came in, we should have 255 shares right now. You know, that would have gave us like coin drops already. But it seems to be that people don't want to share. Are they greedy? No, I'm just playing. The thing is, I go on the channel, I share immediately. I just find it nice to share. You know, like, it just shows, you know, support. You know, yeah, look at Ron, right? Hey, one of these days, Juan, one of these days, I'll get everything set up. I'll put the camera far away. You guys can watch me dance. Just right now, I'm pretty like compact up in here. Yo, little fox, what is going on, guys? Yo, we need more TGS in our fam chat, guys. I booted a lot of people. We got room now. I think we're at 80 members, so we have room. If you just recently joined the TGS and you're not in the family, guys, join our fam chat. Get involved with us, guys. Get interacting. We're almost there, guys. 622. Come on, let's go. We're close. This Thomas, wait, what? This Thomas, I changed my name. Oh, Thomas, you changed your name. I got you, but you're missing something. You forgot the TGS. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, guys, join the TGS, guys. Join the TGS. And if you join TGS, guys, make sure you do like how you see it up there. Right up there. You see that controller emoji? and controller emoji, and then the brackets capitalized TGS, guys. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. If for some reason you guys can't see it, I'm the host too, so this is great. For some reason you guys can't understand like what's going on there, turn that off. Where is... Yo, what's with the racism? That's not gonna get you nowhere in life. Oh, I mean, why are you so mad, bro? Something happened to you? Like, you know, whatever happened, just relax. It's alright. They won't let me add the brackets TGS? Really? Oh, that's weird. A lot of people said that, like, when you put the controller emoji, for some reason, it spaces the bracket. Hit backspace with the left bracket to put it closer to the controller. It could be, you know, how many letters you have in your name, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. You can put in your bio, Jaded. That's fine. I'm down for that. I mean, I know you love your... If you really love your name, guys, you can just mention us in chat, guys. It's fine. You know. All right, guys. Good luck, everybody. I don't like when you're Jason. You like to tease your victims, man. All right, guys. All right, so where we at? Ask the McDonald's manager to extend your Wi-Fi. That's hilarious, guys. That's hilarious. Let's get back in the game, guys. Oh! Oh! Oh, it's showtime. I'm playing for real this time.
They're out there, Jason.
Oh, I know they are.
And get your revenge.
Oh, I will. Oh, yeah, I will. Oh, yes, I will. Let's grab all the knives we can, guys. That way we got more to throw with these guys. You don't have the emoji? Trixz, I don't have the emoji. The gaming controller? What phone are you on? Maybe we can have somebody help you up here. TGS means Trixz Gaming Squad, guys. We're looking for more users, guys. That sounded very wrong. We're looking for new members. We're looking for more users. Why would I explain it like that? So that's the house of Tiny Jarvis. We don't want them getting into that house, guys, because they'll call them in. Where is this thing? Okay. Let's go into this house really quick. Alright, let's keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Right, the game broadcast is really nice. Yeah, that'd be great, guys. Yo, we're looking for more people to join this game broadcasting. That moment when you also sunburn because you have a mosquito close to your arm. Oh! Why do you make that sound so painful, though?
They deserve
There we go.
to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
Here we go. There we go, guys.
Boy. Hunt them down and make them pay.
Alright, look for the sound effects, guys. Look for the sound effects. Yo, they're escaping on the boat. No! They're escaping on the boat. That's not good, guys. They're already gone. Yeah, look, they're gone now. No. Alright, so who escaped? Just one person? Hmm. Not good, guys. Not good. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Help me! Please help!
Here we go, there we go.
Who is that? Oh my god. I can't look.
That's my Jason. That's my special boy. They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
Ah! Alright, let's see who's all alive right now, guys. Just two people. Let's go check this car really quick. Somebody's in this house, guys. Let's get him. The game is dope, right? It's really nice, guys. Really nice. Alright, we're breaking in. We're breaking in every... Ooh, somebody's upstairs. Who is upstairs? What are you doing up here? Are you hiding from me?
Help me! Please! Anyone!
You went outside. Alright, so he's around that way. Alright guys, we know where he is. Here he goes, here he goes.
No!
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Where you going? Where you going? Come here. Come here. It's too dark. Where'd he go? He's not in there. What? 25, 735? Really? Really? All right, I got you. I got you. All right, guys, hold on. What are we looking for? All right, here we go. He's in his house somewhere, guys. I'm thinking he's got to be in one of these rooms. I'm about to. That's it. Too dark up in here, though. Yo, J Gang, what's up? Thank you, Ram. Good game.
What happened?
That's it. Somebody's in his house, guys. He's hiding somewhere. He is hiding! But where? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, he's not under the bed. No! Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd he go? Oh, buddy.
Damn it, no!
Alright, where are they at? Alright, guys, we got another coin drop then. That means we gotta do another coin drop. That's it, we're turning the power off.
Please. No!
Oh, he had a pocket knife, huh? No! Two people escaped though, that makes me mad.
You can never die.
Alright, you know what? These guys with their little window game comes to an end. Get our spidey senses tingling now, guys, so we can hear everything. Alright, guys, you guys ready? Who wants a coin drop? Who wants one?
Please.
There we go. Got it! Ram wants it, guys.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
Alright, Constance wants it. Little Fox, we gotta get you to get that controller emoji in your name, though. Alright, they gotta be somewhere, guys. We gotta figure out where this last person is. Alright. Doing anybody and Constance wants anybody else? Magic Killer wants it. Yo, Chris wants it. He's raising both hands. Look at that. Alright, guys. Well, then let's get ready for it. JD Lobos under the bed. You gotta cash him outside. Right, JD Lobos, what's it going, buddy? What's going on, bro? Alright, that's it. Where are you? Where are you? Come on. I know you're somewhere out here. You're somewhere. And we are going to find you. J-Gang wants it? Okay. Did I just hear somebody? Alright, I think somebody might be in here, guys. Yep, somebody's in there. The final one. Where are you? Alright, no problem, Magic Killer. Alright, so we had a raise of hands, guys. I got you. Let's get this drop. Hold on, let me just get this last victim really quick. They're somewhere. Where are they? Left. I think I saw a little... All right. Nice and easy, nice and easy. What up, what up, what up? What's going on, Solo? All right, 25, 8, 10. Okay, we're gonna drop it. We're gonna drop it, guys. Actually, let's just drop it right now. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. There we go, guys. Congratulations once again. Congratulations once again, guys. Yo, Solo, thank you so much for the gift back, guys. Yo, everybody's winning pretty good, too. Diego Rodriguez, I think. I never saw you in here, but congratulations on winning. Whoa, the 15 coins. Guys, thank you for the gift back, too. Yo, Rodriguez is a very common name. Break down these doors. We got the last victim right up in here, guys. Alright, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Keep an eye on sound effects here. Sound effects. Thank you, J Gang, through Nana Woody again. Uh-oh, Jada Loca with the stars, though. Thank you. Ooh, where you going? And a swing and a miss. Swing and a miss, guys. Oh no, the fireworks got me.
You know what your gift is. No matter what they do to you, you cannot
That's
die.
it. That's the last
You
straw.
can never die.
Oh. Oh. So that's how it is, huh? Alright. I was just listening to Nelly batter up, that's all. Alright. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna get her. Watch. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! There we go.
They deserve to die, Jason. Make them suffer.
I had to make a scene coming in. I figure, you know, like a WWE type scene.
Come to mommy, Jason.
Oh,
to
man. Oh, I got too confident last time. Woo! Trixz, check Chris. Trixz, wait, what? Check who? Chris? I don't think Chris snatched this one to anybody. I don't think he's here. I'll check though. Yeah, Chris didn't snatch. He's not here. Oh, Chris won. Oh, okay. I was thinking the other Chris. Yeah, you know what? There should be more penalties like with that. Oh, okay, I see. So my admins are shouting you out, Chris. That's all. So pretty much what happened was you won. Where are you at? Oh, Christopher, thank you. Yeah, Chris, you won 17 coins, but didn't give nothing back. That's what's happening right now. Oh. Now playing Fortnite, yo, that's a great game, man. I've been seeing a lot of people playing. I haven't played it yet. It's okay, Chris. We'll get you some chance to. We'll give you a chance to send a gift. Right there you go, Ram. Do it, bro. Do it. Oh, Christopher's still here. My bad. Right, Christopher does what I'll do. Like I keep forgetting to snatch every time. I'll be in the channel. I forget to snatch sometimes. It's okay. All right, Chris. You got a few seconds, buddy. Go ahead and send a gift, and then if not, I mean, I hate to do it, but my admins will. Oh no! What just happened? My live media just instantly just shuts down. Like, really? What? No. That sucks. I hate that the string key keeps changing.
I gotta get out of here. Now!
Alright, that was weird. Wow, that was really weird, guys. Sorry about that. Alright guys, let's go. Let's do it. We are the repair guy. He sucks with everything else, but he's good at repairs, guys. So let's go. Huh. There we are. Oh, we'll take those. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Whoa, what just happened? That's so crazy. Just crashed. My bad. That was my fault, though. Ooh, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. I don't need a walkie-talkie. There's a walkie-talkie in here. Whoever's by me, come grab it. No. Just a question. What's going on, Chris? All right. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We just crashed, but we're okay. We're back in action. But I only got a few more minutes left on the stream, guys. Ooh, Myra, thank you for the stars. All right, what options do we even have? 4C, 2C. Okay. 4C, 2C. Let's see which car do we have here. I like the new stars. Right, the new stars are really cool. Yeah, pretty much, Chris. Pretty much, man. It's part of the rules. Sorry. But if you don't want to drop the stars, that's fine. It's called grab and give, man. All right, let's see. This is a 4-seater, so let's go ahead and put this battery in this bad boy. Get it in, guys. All right, battery's in. Good, sweet. Sweet. Let's check this house right over here, guys. No, you're okay, Chris. Honestly, I don't like banning. I don't. I know you're level 4. You're new to the app. That's okay. That's the only thing. Like right now, I'll show you really quick. Here, I'll show you. Look. See, I don't mind explaining. A lot of people would just ban you. But I like to explain. So like right here on the top, guys, you'll notice like right up there, 2 of our rules. 1, grab and give. Grab and give means you grab the coins, you give the coins back. 2, no coin thotting. Coin thotting means that you snatch coins and you're holding them onto yourself like a thought. Not a good reputation, guys. You don't want that. All right, I'm going to switch it back over here. Boom. All right, let's check this house really quick, see if we get anything good. I hope we get something decent. All right, so we got the battery in the car, guys, which is good. We just got to get some gas, and looks like this house might already actually be looted. And yes, it actually, this was the house I was in. So that's a no-go. Let's get out of here, guys. Let's get out of there. Yo, H2O, what's going on, bro? Welcome. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and check these restrooms over here. Hey! Oh. Alright, we're gonna check this up. Hopefully it's not looted, but we're not gonna get anything good. We'll probably get like first aid spray or something, which is fine. You know, which is okay. Alright, which I do see one right here. Perfect. We'll take it. We got fireworks and first aid spray, guys. Aw. Well, thank you, Chris. It's nice of you, man. Oh, we got a map. Yes! Yeah, Danny, it just ended. Somebody died? What's going on here? What is going on here? Thank you for the follow there, Bobby Lynn. Ooh, Jay, thank you. LM. Guys, we gotta help out the LMs, guys. LMs, remember, you could change your profile name going to the settings there. I thought I got blocked from live meet. No, you didn't, Ram. You're good. I got, my stream just ended. I don't know why it glitched. It took me back to the menu where, you know, you set up the stream before you go live. I don't know why I did that. It's weird. Hey, Chris, perfect. Thank you for the live me star. See, you're good. I mean, you didn't have to send that, though. You only won 17 coins. You don't have to, I mean, hey, I appreciate it, though, definitely. I'm still here. Thank you, Slot Dog. Yeah, live me booted out or something. Welcome back, Big Mess. Oh, we got the 5-0 Popo. We called him on the phone, guys. The 5-0 is on the way. Yeah, all these houses have been looted up like dramatically, guys. Now, on the map, we got that car, which was up there. They all seem to be wanting to go on that other opposite end, which is okay. There's a bear trap right there. I'm going to grab this wrench. Not the best melee weapon, but it's definitely better than nothing. This dress has already been looted. Everything, so we're out of here. Thank you, H2O. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. You're cool, too. Thank you so much for giving it back. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you don't have to spend your own coins. Just, you know, the coins we give, just give it back. That's all. But why did you think that, Ram? I don't understand. Guys, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here. Let's see on the map here. We can go more to the right, because there was a lot more houses over this way, guys. A lot more this way. J-Gang, thank you for the stars, guys. I'm sorry about that crash. Alright, so how many followers do I got? Let me get somewhere a little safer. Let me get somewhere a little safer, guys. I got you guys. Hold on. Machete? Yeah, we'll take that. That's a little better. Alright. Nothing in there. Have we already called Tommy Jarvis? Yeah, we already did. Sweet. So one of us dies. We get to play as Tommy. Already been looted, man. Been looted. Alright, we're out here. Copy that. Angel with the live me hearts! Thank you! Copy that. Alright guys, we're going in there right now. Alright, yeah, so that crash kind of sucked, guys. We were doing so good. We can. I got a battery at the 4-door car. Just need gas and keys. So everybody can escape if you want. Oh yeah, you know my driving skills. Marcus, thank you for the stars. Ooh, a lot of stars. H2O, thank you for the stars as well. It is alright, as I say. Didn't know, but thanks for your... Hey, you're welcome. Absolutely. Marcus is like, ooh, right? Ooh. Yeah. So far that's a negative, but I'll find one. Alright, guys. You got Slim Jims for days? Yo, Slim Jims are nice. I gotta figure out what we're gonna do here, guys. Houses, houses, houses. Everything over here to the left. I don't know if there's anything good, though. Right, Ram, thank you for the stars, man. Ooh. Alright, guys, how many coins I got? Oh, shoot. How many followers do I have? Hold on. Do we want to do another coin drop? Hold on. I have... 25,960. Alright, let's do, I can get more coins, guys. Our next stream, we'll do some more coin drops. How's that? Next stream, we'll do some more coin drops, guys. Ooh, coin drop, LOL. Right, you missed a lot, H2O. We did a lot of coin drops earlier on. There's nothing else here, guys. Nothing else here. What about the... maybe the fire camp here? Alright. Does anybody got grandma's sweater? Where you at? Okay. Well, I'm all the way on the west coast. Nah, it's okay, Shula. It's alright. 970. Unbelievable, guys. We're about to hit 26,000 followers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! You guys are killing it! I should have put coin drops back in the stream. Yo, the 5-0 Popo is here. Alright, guys. We can all escape now, but I'm gonna check this house right here. I bet you there's something good. No. No. Right, guys. Ooh. All right, I do got gas. Who got keys? All right, which car are we taking? There's a 4-door near the west coast, near Fairview Marina. Oh, okay. Who got keys? You finally fixed it. Nice. Check right around here, guys. Jason is spotted near the 4-door car. Over. Really? Really? Come on. A lot of maps. Oh my gosh. Right, dang. Alright, maybe we'll do a coin drop as a finale. How's that, guys? Do we want a finale coin drop? We'll do a finale coin drop for you guys. But you gotta stick around with me, guys. Before I end the stream, we're gonna do some coin drops. Right, planets can give us coins too. Absolutely, guys. Yo, you guys been helping me out on the coins? Ooh. All right, 4-door car is ready to go, guys. Just need keys.
This right.
Oh, you guys are all gone. Holy crap. Alright guys, we gotta just head off in the popo. Head off in the popo. Get the fireworks ready. I'm in the north direction, but the car is ready with the keys, but it's okay, I'll head down south. Jason's near me. Oh, I'm on my way. I just bad thing. I got fireworks. I'm okay. I just don't have a weapon. Hotwire it, right? I would too. We should be able to hotwire a car in this game. That'd be sweet. Good update. That would be sweet. Like, even if it takes longer to hotwire it, you know, but at least give you the... Because, like, honestly, keys are so rare to get. It's hard to get 2 keys, or maybe there is only 1 key per map. Welcome back, bro. Absolutely. Welcome back, guys. Yo, stick tuned, guys. Stick tuned. Stick tuned. All right. I'm right by you. Yeah, Jason was close to me. Be careful. You got a gun? Alright, that works too, and I got fireworks. We're good. Look at the firework finale. Woo-wee! Damn!
That's my good boy. Mommy has a reward for you. Come home, sweetie.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. It happens. Yo, good job, guys. Good job. Ooh. I think Jason had a pizza too. Alright. Unfortunately though, guys, I gotta get going. So if everybody in here wanna party up with each other, you can. But I'll catch you guys later. Good game though. Good job, LOL. Good job. Absolutely. Alright, so that's going to end that match, guys. And like I said, we'll go ahead and do another coin drop. We'll go ahead and do another coin drop, guys. I want to thank everybody for everything. You guys have been amazing. You guys have been helping me out so much today. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much, Chris. Yo, I like that you got the stars. I like that you got the stars next to your name now, guys. So everything is looking good. You know, I just converted some of my coins right now, guys. And, you know, people are gifting back, so it makes it a lot easier for me to get you guys with these coin drops as well. And I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead. We're gonna do this again. You guys ready for this one? Because I told you at 25 or at well, I didn't even update that. See, that was so long ago. Anyway, we reached our goal, guys. We definitely reached our goal. I'm gonna go ahead and go back in, see what's going on. And as I am looking right now, we have, yeah, we did perfect, guys. Perfect. I don't want to go offline, guys, but I feel like I don't have a choice. I have things I gotta do. I would love to stream longer, guys. You know, which would be great. What's going on, JB? What's good, Trixz? Do you have a... Hey, what? Do I have a tier on the green screen? I don't get it. Oh, no. You know what? That's the little clip. That's the little clip. My bad. Hold on. I will fix that. Usually I'll just do this. There you go. That fixed the problem. Sorry about that. For everybody that's been contributing for my cheer cup here, guys, this cup, a lot of emojis or whatever cheers that you drop into it just looks cool. Nice animation. Also shows your some sign of a contribution as well. What am I talking about? Well, let's go ahead and get the Spinal Coin job rolling in, guys. Like I was saying. I might get it soon and then I'll play with you. Yo, Slothdog, if you play Jason with us, that'd be great. I have it for Xbox One. I don't have it for PC. But yeah, sorry about that, JB. I really appreciate you noticing that because, you know, I do have OCD and that bothers me as well. America's Army. I'll look into it, H2O. For phone games, guys, I'm running low on space. My SD card is so full, but that's because I got a lot of PlayStation games. But we'll go ahead and continue some things on, guys. Let's go ahead and do this little finale really quick. Let's just drop these coins really quick. Okay, why is it not letting me drop? It's not letting me drop. Why? Okay, let me do this. Okay, hold on a second. Hold up. Alright, let's try this again. Yeah, I have the coins. I have the coins. How am I gifting myself? But I can't do a coin drop. Are you serious right now? You cannot be freaking serious right now. Yeah, I have the coins. I have the coins. How am I gifting myself? But I can't do a coin drop. Are you serious right now? Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, guys. That was my fault. So now I know. I got to make sure I have at least 600 coins. Because what happened was I waited till I went too low. I should have did it before I did it. Oh, I feel so bad, guys. I do have this coin drop, but I can't drop it. This is crazy. I got these coins just sitting here. Literally, I will have to go offline and re-online again. Offline and re-online again. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end the stream here, like for everywhere else, guys. We're going to end it right there. Guys, on Live Me, I'm going back live and I'm dropping it, so be ready. You got to be quick, though. In and out. Ready?